In a simple street scene, there's only one vanishing point. So all the lines, they come into that point on that eye line. But not every street you sketch is going to have that convenience. And this photo that we're going to sketch today actually has two challenges that causes a lot of mistakes. Number one, the road is actually going down a hill. And number two, the road is slightly curved. But follow me step by step and I'll show you the trick to these, which will really help improve your sketching. So where do we start a scene like this? Where do we begin? Well, if in doubt, I like to start with a frame around so I can give it a bit of context. So let's draw a line on the top, looking over towards that dot, and we can turn our page, making sure the line is parallel to the edge of the page. Okay. Now, number two, we want to do the eye line. Looking at this reference here, where do you think the eye line is? So you might say it's where the road ends. Usually it's where the road ends. In this case, it's actually, you can see it in the horizon. You can see the horizon line up there. It's actually quite high. So that is the eye line. From a top to our bottom of our rectangle, go down about a third, and let's get a pencil and draw a nice straight line across like that. Just very lightly. We'll rub that out later. So the next step, let's put in where the end of the road is. So we've gone down a third. So go down the same distance. So off from the center, you can see the end of the road is just off. It's about here. So let's just draw a line here. One of the secrets to making this road looking like it's going down is actually to put end of the road, or the vanishing point of the road, a lot below the eye line here. And I'll actually go a little bit more in depth in Patreon if you're interested in getting a bit more information about where you put the road, depending if you're going down or up. Okay, so the next step here is to start drawing some of these buildings in. So from the right hand side of this road, end of the road, we're going to draw down another third. So we had this, go down a third, and then the next third is to here. So let's draw the side of that building just straight down. And then you can see it's actually quite a shallow angle this way. A bit deceptive. You can join that up. Okay, so we've got that line. Now we want to start drawing the road. But as we said before, this road slightly bends, so we're going to have a little kink in it. So if you go between these 2 points in the middle and go across to about halfway between those 2 points, just about there. We want it to have quite a low angle going right off the page. So that's where we draw this line. And you can see there's a little bit of a road there coming in, and then the next one just slightly shallower, slightly angled up a little bit more, still off the page, and then down. So you can see the shape of the road. It's going here, and it's a lot lower than the eye line. Okay, before we get into perspective of the buildings, we're just going to draw the vertical lines so we know where the buildings are. So here we've got the building going straight up, and so I might turn the page just to make it easier, and my head doesn't hit the camera. So let's go up here, and you can make it a little bit, give it some character wobble. That's a little bit of a angle there. We've got that line, and then let's move over to the left hand side where the next most visible thing is that light, so we don't want to miss out on the lamp. So if we come down just slightly, just have a guess, and we're coming out to approximately where that point was where it changed, just a little bit closer there. So let's just go across, and we're drawing that lamp stand going across like this up, and give it a nice shape there. Little leaves, curls like this. I'm trying to do it all in one line and keep going. As I look up, I'm still moving the pen because the random lines give it that nice and looseness. Then we come up. Now I can see here on the reference the eye line is just about where that horizontal line on the lamp is. So you can actually draw that if you like first. And give it a bit of thickness, and then it has these little side bits, and then another trapezium shape there, and then the top, nice shape like this decoration there. Okay, we've got a very, very thin building here where that comes to. So let's just draw a line here, down vertical just down here, and I'll just go behind that. Okay, we've got that in. So there's almost two buildings here. One comes here and about to here. So you can see that gap. It's a bit lower than this building. So let's put a point there, and then go straight down. It should just go on the side of your lamp, and you can add some character where the balconies would be. Just having a guess there. Okay, that's one line. And then the next line, you can see coming up to that road is just below the lamp. So let's go from here down. We'll do the next building, which is at a slight angle there compared to the first one. So let's come across here where that top rail is, and then we're coming down to the corner here. This is the corner of the road. Okay, we're making our way across. And so this is about where the building ends. And we've got two buildings. So let's do the first part here. And then in between the two, So right in the middle, but then go slightly to the right there. And it's almost straight here because it's so close to that eye line, top rail. So we can start it from there. Just go straight down like this. Okay, so we've broken down the street. We've got the street, we've got the buildings and the vertical lines. Now we can talk about the vanishing points as we add in the details. So with the perspective of this building, we can see here on the template that the actual vanishing point on the eye line is over here off the side of the page. And you'll notice this bottom of the road where the building hits the road, this is a trapezium where this side closest to us is smaller, and as it gets further away it's larger. So that shows that the road's going downhill. So we're going to, for the details on this building, put the vanishing point here because that's easy to see, and also it creates that angle with the bottom of the road, tapered angle there, so it looks like it's going down. So if I have the vanishing point here, just mark it on the page. It means everything should be aiming to that point. So I'm going to just adjust some of these lines, and then this one should come up here, this detail here, the plasterwork here on the side of the building. See that? It's easy to follow when it's like that. And then the tops of the windows, just aim it like this, and then as it gets closer to the eye line, the bottom of the windows are going to be horizontal. So let's put them here like this, 1, 2. So let's join them up. Don't worry if you have your lines are wobbly, really wobbly here. This is the part where you get really loose, wobbly lines. So keep them light and confident. Try to go in one line. See, that was a very wobbly line, but even the details here, aim them towards that point if you can. Okay, and then we can add that balcony, and then as it goes across like this, and then now I'm angling back up to that point, just slightly. Okay, just doing this in one line. These are all the bars on the balcony. So now we go down, and as we go down, you'll see the windows are now tilting even more. So get them in there. 1, 2, 3. Do you notice that wire going across there to give the light electricity? So just add that in there, and we can add in that lamp. I'm not sure if you'll see that later, but hopefully it doesn't get lost because it's quite nice. And then we can add in those windows. So more vertical lines here, but have them bottom edges tilted. This. So now we can add in the details. I'm considering where the angles are. Another window, and there's this little lines coming down there. Now can you see all lines coming to here, but the bottom of the road is starting to look like it's going down. We can try to exaggerate that now with the doors. Let's just draw a line right across. Okay, down. So we're going down, but then at the bottom we've got this line going like this. So see how different we're trying to make that angle there coming down. So I might have to sacrifice a door here just to exaggerate how big this is. Okay, we've got the thickness, and then angle again. The thickness on this side, little door there. So there might be only one door here, or 2 doors here. Down again. Now once again, get that angle. See, it's a lot different to the bottom, which is great. And now the road has that feeling of going down. Great. Okay, now we're moving on to these 2 buildings. This building here and this building here has 2 different vanishing points, and that's because the road is slightly turning. But once again, we've got to make sure we have that trapezium shape where this length here is shorter than here. See those 2 shapes? So that always depends how you've sketched it. So what I'm going to do is exaggerate those vanishing points. So the building that I've done here is coming to about there, first building. So that means that I want these windows to tilt up further. So to exaggerate it, let's even put it somewhere like here. So I'm just looking at that angle and I'm seeing that shape. Can I see the difference? That's pretty much the middle of the page. Keeping that in mind, let's draw the roof. The roof's angling down the point. So it's slightly more exaggerated than in the reference. And then even these little points at the top, exaggerating down. So if we've got the balcony here, coming up to this point, it's going up to here. It comes out. And I want to do that same line so it gets a bit wider here. Just adding some details here. A bit more at the end. Just simple windows. These windows want to follow that line up the top, that angle. So we can just put 4 dots like this. And then let's just go down, down. Probably get a little bit skinnier and closer to each other at the end. Okay, then in this section we'll put another set of 4 windows. But as we're getting to this eye line, they're going to be very, very straight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then mark another. They'll just have a very subtle angle going up. One here. Okay, and this is where we simplify things. We can't draw everything. So this balcony here, why not use that little scribble I put in there? Come down here. So just might exaggerate that a bit more. So you can see that shape now. Exaggerate that a little bit. So as I go along, they compress a little bit more. and more windows. Coming up here, one, and little cross, massive door here, down there. Create that wedge shape. Okay, some details there, which I'm not sure what they are, but I'll just put some lines there. Now we have the two buildings. Now let's get onto this building here. It's in the same building, so it's got that same perspective. Now let's get the balcony in, because that's going to give us that really great angle. So coming down this way, get the angles straight. Awnings. You got some great color there, so still got to remember to do them up like this. And then there would be a door here, angled right up like this too. Okay, now I can see that road going down. Even though the actual line is going up, there is that difference there to show that it is going down. So for this third building here, on the template you can see that the vanishing point is on the side here like this, but once again I think that would be close to where the road is. So what I'm going to do is bring it right up to about there, and that'll help with that angle there. But let's start at the top here where the roof is, and that will be in line, exactly horizontal. I really like that roof, so I don't want to lose it. Let's bring it out a bit, and then we're going down. We've completed that box there too. It's a bit of a line going here, and so once again this is the top rail, and we're going horizontal to the eye line. There we go, that top line there. We can just get some of those big shapes. Slightly angling up now, like that. And let's get this line here, go to the bottom. Coming down to that point there. And this goes across the whole building. So we actually can start here and go down there, and it comes down to here. So let's draw that, a couple of the lines there, and then it will come across and then straight horizontal there. So this part actually looks like it's going up a hill there. That's nice. And then again, let's come across here for that top roof, and it's like this. You can come up like, and that's actually the roof, I think, that is coming up here to this part here. So it must be a big roof coming behind that building there. And there's a few nice little chimneys straight along the top, down like this. Now some of these windows here, let's get that line there, so crossing there, a bit further away, and then as they go away from us, closer and closer. Now here, this is a bit easier to do because we can just follow between the lines. So these dots will follow that angle, and these, a bit higher actually, these dots will follow this angle. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add another one, 5. And on this side, this window is very straight on, so it's going to be a plain rectangle with a mini rectangle at the top, and we've got another one here. Okay, and then these windows here are important because that's got to show that angle. So now I've got that angle is a lot different to this angle, and that will help us put in these windows. So 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have the bottom buildings here, and we're drawing the tree. So that goes up, not quite reaching to the eye line, and the building ends there. So we'll give it a bit of distance there for the cars. Now that we've got the buildings in, I can do the horizon. So what I'll do with the horizon is I'll just put a nice thin line there, and then I'm trying to make sure that I can see that end, the edge of the port on the other side. Okay, and then maybe some little dots to show that it's not sky, something there, maybe a little boat in the water there. Now I'm already loving the sketch just like that. You could leave it like that if you like, but there are some really nice details with the people, so we'll go into that as well. So we'll start with the cars. So I'm just going to draw some silhouettes of cars. And because now we don't have to worry about perspective too much, we can have a bit more fun and make things a lot looser. The car here, just one line. And now there are some people. So even here, just going silhouettes, heads, shoulders, no knees or toes, go up like this. It's the heads and shoulders there. That's just a little bit of detail to see in the background there. We have the footpath coming up, so make sure that comes up this road here like this, getting a bit bigger as it comes up. And then the people. So these people are very small. So all we're doing is the head, the body like this, and then come down a point for the feet. Like that's very impressionistic. People over here, make sure they're all approximately the same size. Why not add another one? So you can give them all slight different bends. Okay, so that is people there. Now we're coming up this way, and we can add in these poles. So they get bigger as they come up, come to about there. And then, see they're coming out this way, I'll start to draw them with thickness, and they get bigger, they come towards us. So I'll draw these people here first, because that'll give me a bit of a scale. And all we're doing is drawing rough shape for the head, coming down for the bottom, the body, and then the legs. See how his leg comes out like this? This is very impressionistic. And there's a person in front of him. That comes around, shorts, one leg's going there, it's going there, the arm, can break up the shape if you like. And now I can see these shapes. I'm going to add stuff in here too. I thought they would be covered up. And we have a head here, someone looking around that way, looking down the street, and we have a boy here, so it's a bit further down in line with this one. You can see it's sort of comparing where it is, and this head would be smaller than these heads, just slightly smaller. Go around that jumper shape and the shorts, the person next to him with the red jumper, a red dress, and then there's someone here, the white t-shirt, comes to a point, just do the legs down to a point, and then someone by themselves. I'm just sort of looking for a general shape of the body and then the angle of the legs coming in without drawing their feet. And then I'll come back over here and do this person here. Got his leg back, and here, a little bit smaller head coming around. Okay, we've got a nice bunch of people there, and the road comes out, the footpath comes off here, comes to about there, and then shoots back up this way. So I'm following that angle. Okay, now I think that helps with that looking like that's going down there, but all the other angles are coming up here. So I'm very happy with the line work now before we get into watercolor. But I might keep it very simple and light so that this really nice line work stays intact. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my round 12 brush, and then we'll have cerulean blue. So we're going to add a graded wash here from the top to the bottom. If you did my last tutorial about washes, you'll know what a graded wash is. We wash a bit of the paint out of our brush and we continue down, and then wash out a bit more. So it's really light here. In this section here, it's quite dark, isn't it? Let's turn the picture upside down. It's crazy. And I have a little bit of ultramarine and then a little bit of Paynes grey. So I want an interesting end to that page there. We're generally going to avoid people here coming in, and it's okay if you go over them a little bit. It's obviously exactly around them. As we get down the road, I'm going to start doing the same thing, creating that graded wash. Take a bit of water out. Now I'm just pulling the paint down to there. So now we have a graded wash from the sky down to that end of the road, and the road comes down like that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is the terracotta roofs. So get burnt sienna out where there is nice orange roof. So there's a little bit behind the lamp there too, a little bit in there. Just take a bit out of the brush and I'll put a bit, hinting that you can see through the lamp. Okay, now cadmium yellow at the bottom here, and there might be some people here. There's a jacket here that's yellow. Now the next thing is the red. We've got these really nice awnings here, red, and the line work shows up. Okay, and I have turquoise, but you could use another bright blue you have, or make them blue. Burnt sienna again, and let's place it just people's heads, their necks, dots on their arms. And now Viridian green with just a tiny bit of Paynes grey, something to dull it down to make it that olivey colour. And we're just adding a tiny bit in there. Now the other details, we're sort of blocking in colours here, so what we'll do is some of the higher windows here, we'll add a bit of this sky blue, just a subtle amount in those top windows, a bit on this side too, and here, a little bit here, it's reflecting the sky. So we've got the ultramarine bottom bits, the ultramarine just to give a bit of value to those balconies, so, and these doorways. A bit of a warm colour around these windows here, so, and that building there has a very, very subtle limey green. More Paynes grey into that ultramarine there, and these poles. And now the lamp we've got up here needs to stand out, so let's add a bit of this to those edges. And one last detail is burnt umber, maybe a little bit of Paynes grey, black hair there. So with the shadows, we're going to add a lot of water to our palette, ultramarine with some rose, very light. Made a graded wash on that as well. So I'm going to turn my page upside down, and then I'm bringing it up. Let's try it again. So each time, hopefully there's a little bit less colour in it. Okay, there should be a very subtle gradient there. Building here, right on this edge, but let's just add a little bit like that, so that this building is only covering a little bit of it. Now the building here, let's grab a bit of this colour again, and this side of the building would be in shadow. So start at the bottom here again, and then as we go up, wash my brush, it's plain water, and bring it up. Okay, then this building will just have a little bit of shadow here, just at the bottom. Now we want to do a little bit onto the street. So we can see here that there's a bit of light in the middle of the street, so I can bring this across this, and there's a bit of shadow in the background there. And then also on here. So see this shadow comes here, and we can go around some of the people. So I've got my round brush again, put some water into the palette, and I'm using ultramarine. A few nice texture bits here, darker textures. Just a little bit highlight the The contrasted darkness, maybe some of that right there. Just adds a bit of interest. The bright saturation colours. So cadmium red, and so things that we had red that were a bit dull, adding one little dot really changed them, brighten them up to those terracotta roofs. Just here, little spots. See how dark they are? So that's the dark patches. Now we're going to go on to adding some highlights. Okay, so I'm going to put some highlights around on places like tops of people's heads, and that just helps break from the background a bit. So like a little reflection, glints on the top of the poles. Make sure you can actually see that in the reference here. And there's lots of interesting glints on those, what do you call them, cobblestones. Always amazed at European cobblestones. They are just brilliant, especially in little dark areas. See like that on the red? It can nicely glint off edges. The sky here. Okay, that's added a little bit more depth and interest to the sketch, but still, hopefully the lines are your hero. So I really love the way that's turned out in the end, with those tricky aspects that we had with the road and the perspective. But the best way to improve your loose sketching is to be able to sketch along with me. So you can consider joining my Patreon, where I'm going to put the full version of this tutorial there with the reference, the templates that I've got, and some in-depth explanations about the road and the perspectives. You can always email me your sketches and I can give you a bit of feedback there as well. Otherwise, I've got a great tutorial here for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.